Whew. Strong, 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 strong. Kind of like lost for words, man. Yo, 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 it's your boy Vion Sneaks, aka the Black Rover, aka the Mixtape Genius, because I am the Mixtape Genius. Tuned in to Kush Nation 420 Media, and we covering the topic of Cyrus Carmack-Belton, I believe his name is, the young brother that got his life taken over 4 bottles of water. We trying to figure out how this tragic happened over 4 bottles of water. You know what I'm saying? So bear with me. I'm kind of new to the topic. I've just kind of it came to my attention yesterday. So bear with me as we go through some parts of the trial. Try to figure out how did this man get a not guilty verdict. You know what I'm saying? First it was Latasha Harden. Then it was Trayvon Martin. Latasha lost her life over a carton of juice, a juice bottle. Trayvon Martin over some Skittles. And now Cyrus Belton over 4 bottles of water. You know what I'm saying? So just bear with me. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Kush Nation 420. Let's get it.
Investigator Jordan, while we're watching that, who is this woman that we're seeing right here on this screen?
Alice Child.
Alice?
Yes.
Okay. And then the other male we've seen in the videos with the hat on backwards is who?
Andy Child.
Okay, thank you. Who is that individual
In the plaid shirt.
in the plaid shirt?
Rick Child.
All right, moving on. slide 14 of States 4. Let me ask you, investigator, your review of the videos, did Cyrus Carmack-Belton ever brandish a firearm inside of 7441 Park Lane Road, the Shell gas station owned by Rick Chow?
He did not.
Did Cyrus Carmack-Belton ever point a red laser that was attached to a Taurus pistol while he was in the Shell station at 7441 Park Lane Road?
He did not.
To your knowledge, has anybody ever said he did that
It's in the store?
in the store?
No, no one.
I want to go down to slide 15 of States Number 4. Next is slide 16 of States Number 4. States 17, or slide 17 of States Number 4.
You have one in your pocket? You have one in your pocket? What? In your pocket?
Yeah. I don't have no water in my pocket. I don't got no water in my pocket, but I'll show you one. This is this one. No, it's down.
Hey, man.
Take another one. Go up.
Moving on to states, or slide 18 of States Number 4. Do you agree with it? There was multiple angles that you were able to review of the same incident?
That is correct.
Next on my list is slide 19 of States Number 4. Slide 20, States Number 4. What would that just depict?
Miss Chow with the shoe and 2 cell phones.
Going now to slide 31 of stage 4, which is these videos kind of stitched together as Justin Martin had described before.
Put down your backpack. Backpack needs to put on the ice cream chest. Yep.
You have one in your pocket. You have one in your pocket. One foot in your pocket.
Yeah. I don't got no water in my pocket. I don't got no water in my pocket, but I'll still be water. No, and then it's down.
Hey, man.
Did you know what? Go up. Good? Okay.
Let me show you a couple pictures. Investigator Jordan, this is states 67 and 68. Do you recognize those just to be screenshots from videos we just watched?
They are.
Let me show you 70, 71. Do you recognize those to be screenshots from the videos we just watched?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Now, the state offers states 67 and 68 for admission into evidence.
Yeah, I think they're screenshots from what they already put in on some other picture.
Oh, they're already in?
Well, there are videos that they just played in, a
Okay.
screenshot from those
Good.
videos.
All right.
And then also 70 and 71 for admission into evidence.
All right. States 67, 68, 70, and 71, if you're in without that.
Ty, let me show you 61 and 62. You recognize those also to be just screenshots from videos we just watched?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And what about 63 and 66?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Now, the state officer states 61, 62, 63, and 66 for admission to evidence.
Mr. Scott, may I see those, not those two, the two that are still in front of me? Just make sure I don't need to renew my, okay. You want to just, no objection, but just renew our pretrial objection.
Sure. All right, then will be admitted as states 61, 62, 63, and 66, subject to a pretrial objection.
Thank you. Let me put up states 63. All right. Investigator Jordan, 25 years in law enforcement. Have you had occasion to handle a case where you had video or a picture of a suspect that you were trying to identify?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And is it common to eventually identify subjects based on surveillance video or photography for that matter?
It's very common.
And is it helpful if you have high definition video or screenshots of an individual?
Yes, it is.
I'd like to show you what's been marked as states. States 24, slide 24 from states number 4, exhibit number 4. Tell me what you see in that video.
My vehicle and Mr. Gerald and the other gentleman running.
And is that what you experienced on May 28th, 2023?
Yes.
And that caught your attention?
Yes.
What did you see next?
I saw Cyrus run across the street. I saw a female, I guess, I don't know if it's his son or not. I saw her pick up his shoe.
And did you continue to watch this whole incident unfold?
I did.
And you watched from your vantage point right there at the corner that you just pointed out to the jury?
Yes.
Tell us what you saw from that vantage point.
At that point, I saw Cyrus run across the street, them chasing him. I saw Cyrus trip, and he got up, and I was excited because I wanted him to continue running, but he didn't get up straight up. I thought he tripped again, and he went down.
Did you at any point in time see anything in Cyrus's hands?
I did not.
Okay. Would you be at a point where you could see things that were in his hands?
Yes.
All right. What happened next? You can take your time.
I turned my vehicle around and went down to where they were located at. I stopped and I wrote down my window and I asked, is everything okay? And he said, no, call 911.
So let's stop there. Before you drove down to see what was going on, could you see, you said Cyrus fell a second time?
He fell, he tripped over the curb, and then as he was getting up, he fell down again, so he didn't get upright. He didn't get upright to where he was.
What were the two men who were chasing him doing?
I saw the son. I saw both of them chase him, and then when I drove down there, I can't at this point because I had to turn my vehicle around. So I had to look left to make sure no car cut him. So then I drove down there, and when I stopped and asked if they needed help, was everything okay? The son, they was distance apart from Cyrus. Cyrus was in the middle of them, and Mr. Child was in front of Cyrus. Cyrus was already laying on the ground, and the father was near the position where his head was at.
So let me ask this, just to make sure I'm getting this chronologically correct. Before you drove down there, you saw them run in front of your car.
Yes.
All right. And you saw him fall a couple times.
Yes.
All right. And then as he fell, you saw him, when he fell the final time, can you tell us where they were positioned?
I cannot tell you.
Can you tell us what, if anything, you saw Mr. Chow, the defendant in this case, doing, or his son doing when he fell the final time?
The final time when I saw, he was already moving towards the front of Cyrus.
Okay.
And the son was behind Cyrus, but a little ways off from where Cyrus was at. It's like the son ran up near the curb and stopped. It's like he didn't move no further.
And you saw Cyrus fall the final time?
I did.
Was he ever pointing towards them or doing anything towards them that you could see?
No, that I could see, no.
And did you ever see anything in his hand?
I did not.
So when you actually went down to the scene, you said you drove down there. Did you at some point engage or have a conversation? Well, let me change this around a little bit. What is it that you saw when you finally got down to the scene? You said that you saw Cyrus on the ground. Tell me what was going on.
When I got down there, Mr. Child was down on his knees. Cyrus was on his back. And Mr. Child has his hand out. And I asked, where'd the blood come from? Are you bleeding? Are you hurt? I said, who's hurt? And he said, him. So I looked at Cyrus and I said, where? Where? Because I didn't see no blood anywhere. And so by then there was another female, and Mr. Child, they rolled him over and they raised his shirt up. And I saw the hole in the back. And they rolled him back over and I cleared. By then he had leaves in his mouth, and I cleared the way because he had started making gurgling. So I thought he was trying to breathe. So I was trying to clear him so he can breathe. And I told them to the female and to do, because I didn't know how to do CPR. So I told them to do CPR because he's trying to breathe.
Whew. Strong, 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 strong. Kind of like lost for words, man. I was trying to, do CPR on the young man and turning him over and showing the bullet hole in his back. That says a lot. Just keep watching.
And I told him to do CPR. So the young lady started doing chest compression. And Mr. Child was getting CPR mouth to mouth to him. And I just told him to keep on.
And you tried to do what you could to help with the situation after Cyrus had been shot.
Yes.
Do you know who shot Cyrus?
I don't know who shot, but I know when I went down there, when I turned my car around, went down there and stopped, Mr. Child was in a shooting stance.
black woman seeing a black kid, which I'm pretty sure she's putting in her mind this could be one of her kids, family members, nephew, brother, whatever it may be, son. She's hurt, like hurt that she couldn't save him. She couldn't do nothing to save him. And she's hurt. Like you can almost feel it. Like you could just feel what she's going through, you know what I'm saying? And it's sad. It's sad.
When he's standing upright with his legs, and he had his arms like this.
Like, can you stand and demonstrate to the jury what you mean by shooting stance? And hold on for a minute. Let me move this. May she come down again, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
When I drove down there and stopped, the scene was over here. And I rolled down my window, and he was in a stance like this.
And what did you do when you saw Mr. Chow in a stance like that, the defendant, Mr. Chow, in a stance like that?
I asked him, was everything okay? And he said, no. Call 911.
And is that what you did?
Yes, I had my family in the car, so I needed to get them out of danger and drove them up to the next apartment lot. And then I ran back down. And as I was going up, though, I was calling 911, but I was so nervous because I needed to get back down there and help them. And I just gave the phone to my daughter because I couldn't get the information out.
Mr. Bryant, my name is Sean Kent. I do not believe we've ever met each other. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, we never met.
And I'm going to go over a couple of rules so we can be on the same page as I'm asking you questions. Is that fair?
Okay.
And I do this with everybody. Just make sure we're both on the same page. Madam Court Reporter is taking down every single word that you are saying. You did a good job from the state, but she cannot take down head nods and shakes and things of that nature. So make sure you answer yes, no, and so on so she can get every word. Is that fair?
Okay.
2, she cannot take down if the two of us are talking over one another. So if you'll give me opportunity to ask my question, I'll give you opportunity to answer the question. Is that fair?
Okay.
And if at any point in time I speak way too fast, and I've been told I do that, and you do not understand my question, if you simply ask me to repeat it, I will repeat it so you can have it read again. Is that fair? If I can remember the question I asked.
Okay.
Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you prefer Mr. Bryant, Devontae? What do you want to be called? I want to give you a proper title.
Either or.
Okay, is it fine if I call you Mr. Bryant?
Yeah.
Mr. Bryant, I want to go through first the testimony that you offered the state of South Carolina just a few moments ago. Do you remember what you testified to?
Yeah.
And I want to first start at the beginning part of your testimony that you were giving to the jury when they were asking you questions about guns. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And when they were asking you questions about guns, they were asking you about the prevalence and the amount of guns in the community of children, 14-year-olds and so forth. Remember those questions?
Yeah.
And do you remember saying that it was basically normal that a lot of kids have guns?
Yeah.
And it is okay for them to have guns because it's a sign, a status or something of that nature, right?
I'm not saying okay, but
It's not okay, is it?
yeah.
It's not okay?
I didn't say that it was okay for a child to have a gun. I never said that.
And then let me follow that up with that question. It's not okay, is it?
I mean, it depends on what point you come from. I don't.
Please explain. What point would make it okay for somebody under the age of 15 to possess a firearm?
I mean, I wouldn't know.
Well, you do know. You just said it depends. So let the jury know, based upon the questions from the state and your answer, when is it okay for someone under the age of 14 or a child to have a gun?
I mean, I wouldn't know. I mean, everybody had their own viewpoint of it. That's why I say it depends.
And I'm asking your viewpoint, based upon your testimony, based upon what you've offered to this jury, when is it okay?
I mean, protection-wise, if you ask me,
Go on, please. I did ask you.
that's it.
What do you mean protection-wise?
Depending on the area you grew up in or the areas you stay in, maybe.
And so when the state of South Carolina put you on the stand, they understood that you felt it was okay to break the law for protection.
Objection to the question, Your Honor.
I'm ready.
All right, ready.
It is your testimony that it is okay to break the law for protection purposes.
No, I never once said that.
Okay, tell me what you said. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I don't remember, but I didn't say that.
No, you just said it a few seconds ago, that it would be okay for protection purposes for someone under the age of 14 to have a firearm. Is that what you just said?
That's what I said.
Is it legal for someone under the age of 14 to have a firearm?
No.
So would it be breaking the law for a person under 14 to have a firearm?
Yeah.
And so would your testimony not have just been, it is okay for someone under the age of 14 to break the law for protection? Isn't that your testimony?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I guess? Because that's what they put you up to justify and say it's okay. So is that your testimony still to this jury?
Objection to the question and the implication.
I'll allow it, but be careful.
I am. Did you understand my question?
No, sir.
Well, let's move on just a bit. We'll go back to that. Do you own a firearm?
No.
You don't have a firearm.
No.
Did you have a firearm that day
No.
in your vehicle?
No.
You have a child yourself, if I'm not mistaken.
3.
And I think one of them would be 14 years old right now.
Yeah.
You would not want him to have a firearm.
No.
You would instruct him not to have a firearm.
No.
You would not want him to have a firearm for protection or status or anything.
No.
No, you would think it would be wrong. Correct? Correct?
Yeah.
It would be dangerous.
Yeah.
And you would not want your child in the community carrying a firearm.
No.
The solicitor's office asked you about your criminal record. You stand on the stand currently as a convicted felon.
Yeah.
And so you couldn't own a firearm anyway.
Yeah.
And so you stand over there convicted of 3 separate offenses.
I'm not sure how many. I'm not sure.
Not sure how many felonies you have?
No.
Were these all in Richland County?
Yeah.
And so were you prosecuted in this courthouse?
Yeah.
And so they are familiar with you?
I don't know.
Okay. When you talked to officers on the scene, well, let's go through this. You actually gave 2 separate statements to officers. One on a body cam on scene, do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then separately, you talked to another officer. Is that a fair statement? Like you sat down and met with an officer and gave an actual recorded interview. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to talk about the second interview first, because this was with a member of the Richland County Sheriff's Department who interviewed you.
They both were.
Okay? Both were Richland County officers.
Yeah.
They interviewed you, right?
Yeah.
They asked you what happened.
Yeah.
They asked your details.
Yeah.
They let you give the story.
Yeah.
And you gave them this story, and after you gave the story, do you remember one of the officers telling you, don't embellish, that doesn't fit the evidence?
Objection.
I don't know what that means.
Hearsay.
Sustained.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
When you met with them, did they think you were exaggerating the story?
Objection, Your Honor.
No.
Speculation of what somebody else believes.
Sustained.
When you gave the story to law enforcement, what was your belief when you left, when you talked to them? Do you believe they believed your version?
Objection, Your Honor, to what he believes somebody else believes.
I wouldn't.
Sustained. You're asking him to
That's fine,
determine
Judge.
what the officer believed.
When you gave your story to law enforcement, and I want to make it clear, you told law enforcement that, and I want to make sure it's good again, I want to make sure the testimony is good. At some point, you're saying the victim had his hands up,
Yeah.
and he shot when his hands were up. I just want to make sure, tell me if I'm wrong.
No.
So explain it to me again so we can all understand.
When he was on the ground, like
Yes, sir.
after he fell from being shot, it's like he was trying to roll himself over. That's when his hands was up.
Now, there's no question he fell twice.
Yes, it is.
Your testimony is that he was shot the first time.
Which
I'm
you-
asking, you tell me when he was shot, if he fell twice. Do you know exactly when he was shot?
You said if he fell twice after the second stumble, it wasn't two fallings.
It wasn't two falls?
No.
Okay. And I guess I'm getting more confused, and you did it with the solicitor's office, but I need to know exactly what position he was in when he was shot. And if I'm not mistaken, when you were...
When you saying when he was shot, as in when he hit the ground?
No, when he was shot.
Like, oh, he was trying to stand completely up.
He was trying to stand completely up.
Yeah.
And I think when you were right here, you had him completely straight, correct?
What you mean, completely straight?
Was he standing completely up when he was shot, like this?
I mean, almost as if, yeah, almost.
And Mr. Chow, was he directly behind him?
No, not directly behind him.
If you can come down again for me and just put your body in the position that you saw, and I want to make sure I say this correctly, the position you saw Cyrus in when he was shot. Does that make sense? I'll make sure you understand my question before you do. Do you understand my question?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you come down from the stand and just show the jury the position, the exact position his body was in when he was shot that you saw?
Yeah. I said he was almost like completely up. Like he was getting up like this. He wasn't here. Yeah.
Okay.
No, he was like here, but still trying to move and get up at the same time. You get what I'm saying?
I do, and I'm just confused because I thought with the solicitor's office you said he was straight up. So you're not saying he was
He's
straight
trying to get straight up. He's trying to get up like how I'm standing, like this. He's trying to get to this point, but he never could get to this point. He's still stumbling, trying to catch his movement. That's what's going on.
That's what you saw.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after he was shot, what happened from that
He
position?
fell. He fell completely again.
Right there.
Yeah.
Didn't move any further.
It's like maybe like a try to turn over type of thing, maybe.
So where the body came to rest is where he was shot.
I don't know where his body came to rest at. Because it was so many people gathered around him, I couldn't see exactly nothing. All I could see is like legs and feet, and you know the older lady's son was on their knees and all of that. I couldn't really exactly see him. Like I'm looking at this desk right here,
Yes,
I couldn't literally just see everything. I see everybody huddled around him.
Okay, go ahead back up there. Thank you. Now I want to go backwards to the body cam footage. Do you remember you said on the side of the road you talked to the officers while they were there?
Yeah,
Is that a yes?
yeah.
Do you remember telling the officer on the body footage that you watched the shot through your car mirror, through your rearview mirror?
No,
You do not remember that?
no.
And if I was to find testimony or anything, you would dispute saying that to anyone that day?
I don't remember that.
Is it possible you could have said that?
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, as you can see, the black dude testimony was more visual than the black lady's testimony because he was directly right in front of them. I mean, right in back of them. They was directly right in front of him. And his visual was a little bit more visual than the black lady's testimony. And, excuse me, from what he saw is he didn't see the young nigga pull out no gun or nothing like that. He heard the shot and he fell. First he fell the first time and then he heard the shot and he fell again. So that clarifies right there that he got shot in the back. You know what I'm saying? So how does this happen? Like how does this be a not guilty verdict? You know what I'm saying? It's mind blowing.
Take a breath for me. I'm going to ask you some questions, and first I want to go and, I guess it's hard getting peppered with questions and make sure your memory is perfect from 3 years ago. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
And the first thing I think you were getting yelled at about was that you had never given a statement about seeing him throw something. You remember those questions that they're like, you didn't say this, you didn't say this, you didn't say this. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
And if not mistaken, there are 4 times where you were asked. You were asked on a body-worn camera,
Yes, sir.
in store, then you were interviewed, and then you had formally given testimony all about something being thrown. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
So first, let's talk about on scene. And when we're on scene with the body-worn camera, like the first time, you see highlighted what you told the officer?
Yes, sir.
What'd you tell the officer on scene?
he had threw stuff out at the corner right there, and he was running back down this way, and I caught up to him once, and then he kept going.
So first, and it's been suggested that you didn't say it and didn't see it, but on scene, first time, one time, he threw something,
Yes, sir.
right? And then they talked about an interview in the store. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Looking at line 28 in the store, what did you say in the store?
Oh, I saw him throw something out at the corner down there.
So number 2. Second time now. And then they asked you about a later interview. You want me to do an interview with law enforcement they were asking you about?
Yes, sir.
Just read that.
Started sprinting. Oh, just myself.
Yeah, read it to yourself. Remember that third time now, you told law enforcement that you saw him throw something.
Yes, sir.
Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
And then you formally testified a fourth time under oath. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
What was your testimony then?
Can we read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I get to the bottom of the parking lot before the road, and I had seen him throw 2 cell phones out, and so I stopped to look at what he had thrown.
And so when you were being asked questions just now on cross-examination, you kept trying to tell the solicitor, I said he threw these, remember?
Yes, sir.
And you were saying, no, you didn't. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
I just showed you 4 separate times as close to the incident, so you were correct in what you were saying.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
It is hard being up there being cross-examined about your memory. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
The solicitor was asking you a lot of questions, but one of the things that were clear on it, there was a gun pointed in your face that day.
Yes, sir.
Questions were being asked of you, and I don't know if it was embarrassed or so forth, but there's questions asked to you about how you were running and came to a stop. First, I want you to tell the jury again what happened from the point in time when you were running and caught up. Tell the jury again.
Okay. So I caught up to. So he had fallen on this on a flat, and so I was running full speed, and I catch up to him.
Let me stop you right there. You want to lay flat down? Just flat down. He's on his stomach?
Yes, sir.
Which way? Can you have him facing you, or let's have him facing this way? Just for example purposes. Lay flat that way, Kurt. Just flat down. Sorry about the seat. Okay, and so he's laying flat down, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you said you were running up to him,
Yes, sir.
and then what happened? You slowed down immediately?
I slowed down coming to the curb,
Uh-huh.
and then I see there's something in his hand,
Uh-huh.
and when I get closer, and he's starting to get up,
Okay.
and he points the gun over at me.
All right. And so you're going, and so the question, of course, from the solicitor is, how can you stop and start going this way? And you were talking about momentum?
Yes, sir.
So it's something like that, right?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Did that seem impossible?
No, sir.
And so your testimony is you were going full speed. Someone starts to stand up. And then your momentum, because you see what's going on.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Did that seem possible just now?
No, sir.
Was a gun pointed in your face?
Yes, sir.
How did it make you feel that day? All this other stuff, all these back and forth, how did it make you feel when a gun was pointed directly in your face?
I was terrified
Terrified that what was going to happen.
that I would die.
And what did you do? Who did you yell to?
I yelled to my dad.
And what were you yelling to your dad?
He's got a gun. He's got a gun.
And your dad, wherever feet he was, what was he yelling?
Drop it. Drop it. No.
And what was Cyrus doing?
Pointing the gun at me. And running.
Is that about right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. No further questions.
Cross.
Who put you and your father in that position? Who put you and your father at that location on Spring Tree Drive?
I put myself there.
Okay. Who put your dad there? Did you drag him along? Did anybody make your dad go up the hill 130 yards from your store, leaving the cash register unmanned? Who made him go up there 130 yards away?
Can I say what he...
Who made him go up there?
I don't know if I can...
I'm asking
Testify
you
for
a
him.
very... Did you make him go up there? Did you drag
I
him up
myself
there?
did not make him go.
Was he up there against his will? Did somebody drag your dad from his office all the way up that road to
No,
where Cyrus Carmack-Belton was shot and killed?
No, sir.
Who drug him up there?
I would say just himself.
He ran himself up there, did he not?
That's what I would have seen. Yes, sir.
Is there a reason you can't answer my question with a yes or no? I mean,
Because I was told I can't testify for someone else or say...
you could say everything you saw and you know to be true.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay, and the judge will correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I've always understood a witness testifying. Do you have any reason to believe that your dad was up there against his will?
No, sir.
Okay. He voluntarily ran up Spring Tree Drive to where Cyrus Carmack-Belton was shot, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
And nobody stopped him from calling 911, to your knowledge.
No, sir.
Nobody stopped him from printing up these pictures of Mr. Belton, correct?
To my knowledge, no, sir.
Nobody made him leave the Shell gas station that day, right?
No, to my knowledge, no, sir.
He did it on his own, with his own free will, correct?
Yes, sir.
The shooting doesn't happen if everybody stays in the Shell gas station that day, correct?
Everyone? Yes, sir.
It doesn't happen, correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm correct in saying that is what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Shooting doesn't happen if everybody stays put in the Shell gas station, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anything else briefly?
It doesn't happen if Cyrus doesn't put a gun on you either, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. No further questions.
Anything else that?
You don't even know there's a gun if you stay in the gas station!
That's what matters.
Right?
Your Honor.
You don't know he's got a gun if you stay put in the Shell gas station, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you talked about Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. Sounds a lot to me like this was the rest of Mr. Kent's story. Because many of the things that he said were things that he said, but the actual eyewitnesses never said. It reminds me of when I was a kid, a couple of years maybe before Mr. Kent, but a whole lot of years after Mr. McCullough, Mr. Swirling. We used to, as kids, go down to Augusta, Georgia. My grandmother was from a small town called Trenton, South Carolina. It's in Edgefield County. And way before I was born, probably when I was still a twinkle in my parents' eye, she moved down there because there were just better opportunities to work. And so as I'm growing up in the early 70s, early 80s, my folks would drop me and my brother off down there and we'd hang out with my grandmother for a week. And back then, when you went to your grandmother's house, you couldn't stay inside and play video games all day because they didn't have them. So we had to go outside. We had to find ways to busy ourselves. We had to do things outside so we didn't break anything inside and get in trouble. So what we end up doing is my brother and I would go outside and we'd start throwing the football around for a little while. We'd toss the baseball around for a little while. Then we would start running around her house because my brother was older, so I tried to catch him. So we try to run around and see if I got any faster than he. At some point in time after lunch, we would make our way to this makeshift barber shop that my grandfather had built on the side of the house. And we'd sit down and we'd listen to the old man playing checkers, trying to pick up on some words we probably shouldn't have been hearing. We'd hear him slapping the checkers on the board saying, "King me," and all that kind of stuff. And we'd be learning some old man stories as kids. It was fun. We'd sneak into a little side of the barber shop and try to get his red man chew. And the joke was we'd try to put a little piece in our mouth and try to hold it in there as long as you could before it burned a hole in your mouth. Or we try to hold it in there and try to see who could hold it the longest before you started gagging. This mischievous stuff that kids do. That's what we did. But at the end of the day, every evening, my brother and I would end up on the front porch. And my grandmother had a set of rocking chairs out there. And we would sit in those rocking chairs and start playing what I call rocking chair games. The first game, we'd sit down and then we'd try to see who could rock the fastest. I'm sure some of y'all have done this. Then we try to see who could rock the fastest and the farthest with your legs in the air. It's good ab work if you ever need to do it. We're trying to go back and forth and see how fast you could go with your legs in the air. And inevitably, the last thing that my brother Chris and I would do, we'd sit down and we'd rock the chair as far back as you could go without it falling over. And we'd do that. And we did that over and over and over. One evening, my grandmother came outside and she saw us standing those rocking chairs up on edge. And we knew we were in trouble. Again, this is the 70s, early 80s. This is the day of knockouts, not timeouts. We knew we were about to get in trouble. But my grandmother said something to me that stuck with me and it still rings in my head today. She said, the funny thing about rocking chairs is that they'll keep you busy, but in the end, they don't get you anywhere. The funny thing about rocking chairs is that they keep you busy, but in the end, they don't get you anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Mr. Kent, Mr. Swirler, Mr. McCullough, and that team over there has kept you busy with all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, the question still remains, what is the value of a human life? They have kept you busy with these insinuations that Cyrus was some young thug, some thug in training, running around Columbia, their words, with a loaded pistol, an empty backpack, and no money. Their words. They have kept you busy with this insinuation that this case has to be about and is only about, and is mostly about, a 14-year-old carrying a gun. We keep talking about why do 14-year-olds have guns? Why do children carry guns? And folks, let's be abundantly clear. Cyrus should not have had a gun. Period. No question. Nobody at the state stable has suggested that he should have. But let's put that aside for a second as we talk about what this case is really about, because he shouldn't have had a gun. No question. Question, are we still having this conversation if Cyrus is 24 years old, if he's 20 years old, if he's 34 years old, 44 years old? Are we having this conversation? Somebody wrongfully accused of stealing, chased out of the store after they tried to de-escalate everything that they could, running, falling down, running out of your chute, tripping, dropping phones, running farther, falling, busting your shin, gun spills out, you're still running. And according to the testimony that you heard from this chair, grown man, Andy Chow, state championship swimmer, 200 pounds, about 85 pounds more than Cyrus, was right on top of him when he fell. And Dad was close by, in arm's distance. That's what the testimony was, not all this stuff. He was right on top of him. Question, as you listen to the elements of self-defense, not bringing on the difficulty, who would have had a claim of self-defense in this case? Cyrus? Being chased by two men, armed with a gun, on top of you after you've run 130 yards? Folks, I submit to you, as I'm walking from that tip back here, you get to the end of this corridor, that's 20 yards, 19 yards. Times 5 plus 30 more yards. That's how far he was chased. So who would have had a self-defense claim? So I'm suggesting to you that they keep insinuating these things, saying these things, because they don't want you to think about it. Again, I mentioned to you this to you multiple times. When you parked your cars, you didn't leave your common sense in the parking lot. Take it with you. Think about these things. Don't let them sway you with all of this mess and all this other stuff that takes us off of what the real issue in this case is. Don't let them do it. The defense kept weaving this narrative, again, that Cyrus is some young thug walking around the streets of Columbia, again with a loaded pistol, no money, and an empty backpack. I submit to you that, folks, if Cyrus was this thug that they keep telling you that he was, by showing you pictures and trying to get you thinking in that direction, we never would have gotten 130 yards down the road. He would have held court right at 7441 Park Lane Road. Cyrus would have been the judge, the jury, and the presenter of the sentence right there in that spot, if he was the thug that table wants you to believe that he was. But instead, what were his actions? Folks, he ran. He ran like a child. He ran from the adult. Let's think about who acted like the thug, the gangster. The person who chased him down the street, or the person who ran while he had a gun hidden. He ran out of his chute. How do we know that to be true? Because we see it on camera. Chute flies up in the air, and he keeps running. Doesn't stop, turn around, oh, I dropped my chute, let me get that, because I'm gonna get in trouble if I go home with one chute. He didn't do that. How afraid do you have to be to run out of your chute and not turn around to pick it up? Ponder on that for a minute. He ran further, phones fell out. They keep coming to you with this mess that, oh, he threw his cell phones out. What sense does that make? Did you leave your common sense in the parking lot, or did you bring it with you? How afraid do you have to be to drop 2 cell phones and keep running? Again, let's be very logical about this for a minute. 2 cell phones. We know how expensive they are. One cell phone belongs to you, and the other belongs to your mother. Do you mean to tell me that you are going to go home that day with one shoe and tell your mother, Mama, I lost my cell phone and yours too, and I didn't turn around to get it? You want that smoke? Do you really want to get what you would get if you lost 2 cell phones from your mother? But you know why he didn't turn around? Because he was scared. Because that man, armed with a .45 caliber pistol, and his son were chasing him for no reason down a road in South Carolina. Chasing him. Didn't turn around. Kept running further. Fell again. Hard. Dropped the backpack. And by the way, since they want to keep saying it was empty, actually had some personal effects in it. There was an address in the backpack. Really? Fell. Dropped the backpack. Didn't stop and say, oh, stop guys. Let me go get my backpack. Let me go get the phones. Let me go get the shoe. Kept running away from them. Is that a thug? That's a kid who was scared of 2 grown men, running as fast as he could, as far as he could, trying to get home. But they wouldn't allow it. They would not. For some reason, they could not allow it. And then, at some point, as he fell, hit the ground, that gun comes out, that tack light comes out. Now, I'll suggest to you, as Mr. Kent talked, he keeps saying, well, he was picking up the gun and he was pointing the gun, all that kind of stuff. Stop, just stop. Because what we say is not evidence. I told you before, the evidence is what comes from this witness jury. There were 4 eyewitnesses who were not named child. Which one of them ever said they saw Cyrus Carmack-Belton point a gun? Which one? Which one? No. 4 of them. 3 different vantage points. Lori Carson, Kennedy Carson, mom and daughter. They told you they watched and they saw a straight line of what happened. Cyrus ran, fell, hit the ground, got up running, and that's when he was shot. Asked multiple times, well, did he turn at them? Did he point at them? Did he do anything? No. We never saw anything in Cyrus's hands. 2 witnesses, mom and daughter, vantage point at the front of the store. Didn't see any of that. Any of that. Devontae Bryant, driving, white Honda, threw on brakes so he wouldn't run over anybody as they ran in front chasing Cyrus. Asked as he rode by, did you see him point anything? Cyrus Carmack-Belton point, stop and point. No, he didn't. He didn't have anything in his hands. The book bag fell. He was flat. He fell hard. His hands were on the ground. He got up trying to run, and that's when he started stumbling again and got shot. Again, trajectory. Here, upwards, to the left, making perfect sense that he's running away. Not pointing, like the defense wants you to believe. Remember the multiple times they tried to see with Dr. Durso, well, was he doing this and was he snaking and popping and locking? No, none of that was ever said. He was running, and when they tried to do that, he said, no, it's more consistent with the shooter being directly behind him. Folks, if he was turned in the direction that they want to believe, his spine would have been severed by that bullet. Common sense. You didn't leave your common sense in the parking lot when you parked today. You brought it with you. That again is why we went through that process. Some of you may think it was painstaking last week to sit you as jurors, because we wanted you to take the facts of this case. Not Paul Harvey, not Steve Harvey, not some other Harvey, but the facts of this case that came from this witness chair. Not some stuff that's speculated or what we can kind of come up here and start trying to come up with about moonwalking backwards and all this kind of stuff. None of that. The evidence that came from this chair. Did you hear that? Another witness, Jasmine Broadwater. Another vantage point. They're running directly to her. Did she say she ever saw a gun in Cyrus's hands? No. Did she ever say she saw Cyrus point? No. Never. Nobody with the last name that's not Chow says that ever happened. And interestingly enough, you saw in the video, after the shooting took place, who was walking around? Rick Cho. The officer had to tell him multiple times, stand still, don't touch evidence. I'm gonna charge you with obstruction if you keep messing around there. Move the gun, by the way. He and his family went to the store, came back, had plenty of time to talk about what they were gonna say. Plenty. But at the end of the day, when Andy sat up here, there was nobody to protect him from cross-examination. Nobody to protect him. There was conversation about a barrel. Andy says, I saw a silver barrel. Folks, I submit to you, there is a gun lock on here. This is not the condition of the gun. You'll see it on that video. The condition of the gun was this. That's a black barrel, right? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we talk about credibility and believability. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. One other thing that the esteemed table said is that Cyrus Carmack-Belton, again, wandering the streets with a loaded pistol, empty book bag, no money. Now, I'll take this on myself, because at the end of the day, I'm the boss. And I'm the person who at the end of the day gets the opportunity to say, hey, we need to bring this witness to that witness. So y'all blame me for this one. This is my fault. I will say this, it's my fault. Maybe we should have brought in another expert. Maybe a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old who can talk to us about the intricacies of cell phones. My gosh. Maybe they could tell you that if you hit the right click button on an app.
Yes, sir. Will they approach? Sure.
So maybe we should have had an expert to talk about apps on phones and the fact that in 2026, even back in 2023, you did not have to have cash in order to buy stuff. You can pay on your phone. Maybe that should be an expert that we call next time, since they made such a big stink about those things. Folks, Andy was an interesting person on the stand. And I'm sure that it's tough to have to sit in that situation and recall what was said and what wasn't said and what you thought about in those moments. But it was interesting to me that under direct examination, that testimony flowed. It was quick. Everything that he said was perfect. Just came out like water. But then on cross-examination, and y'all had a chance to watch from your vantage point, that's the word of the week, vantage point. Every time he was asked a question under cross-examination that wasn't pleasant, that actually required some type of thought process that may not go exactly how he rehearsed his testimony, eyes. To the point to where he said, well, my counsel said I couldn't. We don't want to know what your counsel told you. But every time a hard question came, his eyes went from here to there.
That's a very true statement. Every time they asked him a question when he was cross-examined, his eyes kept playing ping pong, like, you know, how they rehearsed it and how they was telling him, like, oh yeah, answer it like this or answer it like that. He was lost. He was fumbling. He was stumbling. He was, you know what I'm saying? So that's a true fact. That's a true fact right there. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue to watch.
Folks, I was taught a long time ago, when you lie, you got to remember what you said, right? And if you lie about the small things, then you can't be trusted with the big things, to tell the truth about the big things. So think about that for a minute, because when we talked to Andy, there was a back and forth about simple stuff, like through versus dropped, right? Like pulled versus pointed, which again, no witnesses not named Chow ever said the word pointed. Like chase versus followed. Why are we having conversations about chase versus followed when you saw how fast they were going after him? Folks, I may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but to me, running after requires you to be going after something for a purpose. Example, there's a kid, ice cream truck passes by the house, ding, 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 ding. You miss it. You go out the house and you run after the ice cream truck. Why? Because you want to catch it so you can get some ice cream. Simple. Or sitting, you wake up a little bit late for school and you hear the bus go by. You're missing the bus. You run after the bus. Why? So you can catch the bus and get on and get to school. Or maybe more recently, you're flying from Columbia to North Dakota. And there's a flight that first leg takes you to Charlotte, second leg takes you to Minneapolis. You get to Concourse A, your flight takes off in 28 minutes. What you gonna do? You're gonna run to Concourse C to catch the flight. Why? Because you don't want it to leak. You run with the purpose to catch. Folks, I ran after my wife for 2 years and I caught her. But do you think when I caught her, I said, hey, I want to give you directions about how to get to that dude so he can tell somebody else about something. Come on, folks. When you parked your car, you didn't leave your common sense. They ran to catch. At the end of the day, what happened here is simple, and they don't want to admit it because it hurts. They ran after Cyrus emotionally. They were irritated. They were mad for whatever reason. They ran after him. They caught him. They caught up to him because he fell multiple times. They wanted to shake him down and get that bottle of water and then figure out what to do with the police later. That's why they ran. That's the simple truth. That's the simple truth. That gun spilled out, and then that man made a rash decision. He overreacted. Andy saw the gun, he said gun, and he shot him. There wasn't all this time to back up. No witnesses even say that he even backed up. They said they were advancing the entire time. Folks, don't let the defense rewrite the facts, because the things they talked about didn't happen that way. They didn't happen that way. For over an hour, Andy sat on that stand, and he said a lot of things. He said a lot of things. But did you ever hear the 2 words? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I wrongfully accused this kid of stealing and chased him down the road. You know why? You didn't hear that? Because he's not. This is about product over people. This is about inventory. This is not about a person's life. Mr. Kent spoke about withdrawal. And he keeps trying to suggest that Andy Chow withdrew by doing this and coming backwards all this way and saying, hey, stop, hey, Dad, you gotta go. Nobody testifies that that happened. He doesn't have the last name of Chow. 4 people who don't know one another, who had to be subpoenaed to come to this court, spoke to you, and they never said that it happened, because it didn't happen. He did not withdraw. They kept going forward. They kept going forward. And ultimately, this gun was never pointed. But folks, I suggest to you, even if it was pointed, he was running in the opposite direction. Opposite direction. That's what the evidence shows by the way he was shot. It was in the opposite direction, trying to get away. I'll say this. It's offensive to hear the defense keep trying to characterize Cyrus as this young thug. But it's equally offensive to then try to characterize Andy Chow as Mr. Rogers. Excuse me, Rick Chow, the defendant in this case, is Mr. Rogers. You know, the man who chased a kid down, shot him in the back. And then they want to say, well, he was trying to help, clean vomit out of his mouth to resuscitate him. Folks, that's offensive. Because the last face that this scared child saw as he ran away was that man peering over him. Peering over him. And none of this happens if they stay their behinds in the store and use that intricate camera system that picked up on every angle. Could see everything from what he wore, the type of shoes that he wore, the direction he went, everything. A couple seconds is all it would have taken, just like it did in the store, to say, hey, you know what, we were wrong. But they didn't do that because they were overcome with something. Maybe it was meanness. Maybe it was malice. Maybe there's some nefarious intent in their heart. A reason for them to chase him and shoot him in the back and end his life. But again, never the 2 words that matter most, and I'm sorry or I made a mistake. However, none of them, because they're not. I talked to you about a poem by Omar Khayyam called The Rubra. And I told you that I would link it all together. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wipe out a word of it. Folks, that's a poem about time and how you can't erase what's been done. You can't go back and change what's been done. With all your piety, no matter how many degrees you got, how many doctorates you got, when you do something, it's there, it's done. And you can't reverse time. You may try, you may get up here and get on the stand and try to think your way through it and reason your way through it. But at the end of the day, what they did was murder. So in a more literal sense, eventually we're going to be asking that your moving hand come back and write these words. Because Rick Chow is guilty of the murder of 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack-Belton. Now, folks, you're going to have a chance to deliberate in a moment. And as you deliberate, you will apply the facts of this case to the law that the judge is going to give you in a couple of moments. And as you do that, I'm asking, Dale Scott is asking, Stephanie Taylor and Weston Lee, for all of us are asking that you return a verdict of guilty in this case. I'm just looking to make sure that I covered everything that Mr. Kent covered. I ask you to think one last thing, and I'm out of your face. We all know there are 50 states in the United States of America. But I think I've learned sitting in this trial that there are actually 51. There's the state of denial. The state of denial is where that man lives because he's denying that what he did was wrong. He's denying that he chased and killed that young child, Cyrus Carmack-Belton, who never pointed a gun at him. The witnesses tell you so. Not his son, who's got every motive, every reason to twist it around in order to protect his father. Denial that you, the jury, believe or will believe that what he did was wrong. Denial that at the end of the day, he believed that a human life was not more than that. Folks, it's for these reasons that the state of South Carolina is asking you to return a verdict of guilty, because Chai Kee Rick Chow is guilty of murdering Cyrus Carmack-Belton. Thank you for your time.
I'm correct.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.